Hello, YouTubians and David Mcdonough. This is for your Wednesday giveaway. The three questions that you asked for the giveaway. Question number one is the really haunted doll that we know about. The only haunted doll that I know about is the Annabelle doll from the movie. My understanding is in real life it's actually a Raggedy Ann doll, but in the movie they made it look like a porcelain girl doll. That's the only really haunted doll that I'm aware of. Question number two was a horror story, and you said it could be true or false. So I'm going to tell this story that I have and let you decide if it's true or false. So this took place back in like 1996. My best friend from high school had gotten married and lived in a nice little house, and they had a son, and his wife was not very fond of me for reasons I won't get into right now. So one Sunday morning, I'm at home and I'm preparing for a Sunday full of football games. So I'm actually looking in my refrigerator at that moment, getting ready to yank out everything to make my Sunday football game breakfast, when my phone rings, and it's my buddy. And he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Hey." And he's like, "There's a big Patriots game today." And I'm like, "I know." Because we're both Patriots fans. He goes, "You want to come over and watch it?" And I was like, sure. So I stopped for myself and got some McDonald's and stuff and hit it over there, and I got some. So when I arrive, I'm expecting it's just going to be me and him, or me and him and his son, and I knock on the door, and lo and behold, his wife answers the door, and she's like being super nice to me, and I'm like, okay. So we go into the living room and start up the game. She comes in, she's serving us some snacks, and she put drinks on the table, and she leaves, and I'm looking at my friend going, "Is it okay to drink this?" It's like, he just starts laughing. He's like, "Yeah." So we sit there, we watch the whole game. Patriots won. It was a great game, and literally like the second the game ends, she steps back into the room and she's like, "Well, honey, why don't you run up to the hardware store before the next game starts?" And I'm like, oh man, because I had worked my way through college as an electrician and a general contractor. So I figured out why she was being so nice, because she had some work she wanted done around the house, and so, but I didn't really care. I wasn't planning on doing anything anyways. So and me and my buddy and his son, we head out to their SUV, and their son, he was this funny little kid. I think he was about 4 at the time, and he was the kind of kid that was just always like jibber jabbering and laughing, and always just, he was constantly making noise, but it wasn't like a really annoying noise, but it was just kind of like constant background noise. So we get out to the car, and I jump into the passenger seat, and he's putting his son into the car seat, and all of a sudden I notice that there's no sound. So I just happen to glance back, and just as I glance back, the kid looks directly into the eyes of his father and says, like in his very serious voice, he says, "The man in the trees is watching us." And my friend looks at me, and I look at him, we both look at the kid, and like the moment we look back at the kid, he's just like, blah, doing his little background noise thing again. So literally, me and my buddy, we kind of step out, and because the way that they had done it was they were like building houses in like groups of like 10, and there was like woods, and what they would do is they would cut down the woods, build 10 houses, sell the 10 houses, cut down the woods, build 10 houses. Well, my buddy was in house number 10, so right next to his house was all woods. So we're, like looking at the woods and kind of looking at each other, and we were like, okay. So we jump in the car and we drive over to the hardware store. I find out what I'm going to be doing the rest of the afternoon. So we buy all the supplies, we go back. Sorry. And they had just had a new deck installed, and it was now my job to install the lighting on the deck. And it wasn't a big deal, and I didn't really care about it. She made us a nice lunch, and we watched the second football game. We got it all installed, and I was like, all right. So, at the end of the night, everything was installed. She was happy. She actually gave me a hug, and my buddy was like, thanks, man. I was like, no problem. And he's like, we'll have to have you over for a barbecue. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be gone for the next 3 weeks. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Because I was going to Japan for this work thing. I was going to be gone for about 3 weeks. So we say our goodbyes. A couple days later, I leave for Japan on Tuesday morning. And I was in Japan for 3 weeks. Come back. A couple days goes by. I'm doing work or whatever. I decided to give my buddy a call, see how the lights are working, and find out when I'm going to get my free meal. So I call him up. And like I said, this was 96, so this was before the world was overrun with cell phones, so he still had a home phone, I had a home phone. So I call his home number, and a man answers the phone whose voice I don't really recognize, and I was like, hey, is my buddy there? And it's like dead quiet on the other end of the phone, like long enough where I was like, hello? And the voice goes, who is this? And I say, oh, this is so-and-so. And he goes, my son's friend from high school. I was like, oh, Mr. Oh, yeah, this is, how you doing? I know you're in town, blah, blah, blah. Because they moved across down to Florida or something. And he goes, so you don't know what happened? I'm like, don't know, what are you talking about? I go, I was in Japan for 3 weeks and got back a few days ago, and I'm busy with work and stuff. And I could hear him like getting choked up, and I was like, dude, was everything okay? What's going on? And he was like, they were all killed. I was like, I'm like, who are you talking about? What, they? Who goes, they were all killed by a homeless man that was living in the woods. And he goes, I can't talk anymore right now, because he was really, really broken up and crying and stuff. He goes, we're going to be here for the rest of the week, clearing out the house or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. And then he just hung up on me. I was like, so that's my story. You can decide if it's true or not. Now, 5 movies that I'll be watching this Halloween. Now, in all actuality, I probably will not be watching movies on Halloween because I'll be taking my nieces and nephews out for their trick and or treating, and then as soon as I get them inside, I'm out to a party. But the 5 movies that I would be watching on this Halloween, I would probably start with Trick or Treat. Then I would probably, this year, I would move on and watch the original Blair Witch, because I haven't seen that in forever. And then I would follow it up with the remake, with the new Blair Witch. And after that, I would probably watch 31 again. And I'd probably top it off with Martyrs. Not the crappy remake, but the original. So those would be my 5 movies. So that would be it. So this is for the Wednesday giveaway by David Excuse me, David Mcdonough. You should actually say your last name in one of the videos, that way we can stop pronouncing it incorrectly. All right, so thanks. Bye.